Hi, my name is Carrie Garner. This is my presentation on tort liability. The tort law basically recognizes that individuals can be held liable when their actions or their lack of actions can result in injury or death to others. Um, the first one I found about tort law was Mitchell v. Cedar Rapids, and basically a special ed student, skipped school and lied to her grandmother and went to a boy's house. She later told her family that she was sexually assaulted, and the school was held negligent or found negligent, and the plaintiff won $500,000 in their suit. With this, we've been reminded over and over to take attendance every single class period, not just at the beginning of the day, and just reminding teachers to do that and how important it is to take attendance is an absolute must. It will keep things like this from happening. One of the biggest problems that they had with this lawsuit, the argument was that there was nothing special for special ed as far as a protocol for missing students. So looking at that and seeing what kind of policy you'd have in place for special ed students would be beneficial as well. This one, a teen was struck as she crossed street to the school. A school bus actually hit her when she was crossing the street. She had lots of injuries, some that lasted permanently, and she reached a settlement of $325,000. A way to kind of keep that from happening is making sure that crosswalks are labeled clearly, and that teachers who are there for early morning duty, if you have that at your school, would be strategically placed in areas to prevent an accident from occurring. This was crazy. It was a suit. A child was running to his mom. He was super excited to see his mom, 6 years old, fell down on the sidewalk like lots of kids do. The sidewalk actually had tree saplings that had grown up through the sidewalk that had been cut, and those little sticks were coming out of the sidewalk, and the child was impaled with one of them. Basically, it went through his eye socket and punctured his brain and left him with terrible permanent brain damage. And the family was awarded $4.5 million for that. So just to learn from this, just making sure that everything you can is picked up and clean and the environment is safe, that things are removed that would cause someone to fall or trip. This was interesting. Johnson v. School District of Millard. A child was caught playing London Bridge, like in between the two kids, and the teacher was not paying attention while the kids were playing London Bridge during music class. They were supposed to be playing. And when they let go of him very suddenly, violently, he fell against a bookshelf and had to receive 50 stitches. He was awarded $22,000. Some of that was medical, about 1,200 of it, but the rest of it was in the damage of the long-term scar that he had on his face. But that's just a reminder that we need to always watch our students and always supervise our students. That teacher was actually just turned around helping another student, and that lawsuit still stood in court. You got to turn around and make sure that you're watching students all the time. This was interesting. Munn v. Hotchkiss, a school went to China on a trip. They were not warned of any diseases that they could get through bug bites. The student, Kara Munn, contracted tick-borne encephalitis, and after she was super sick, had to be airlifted back to the States from China. She can't speak because of that. And the courts have, even as recently as 2018, this February, have upheld the $41.5 million judgment that was in her favor. And this happened, the judgment was set years ago. They've tried to fight it, but it was upheld in February for $41.5 million. And the school was found liable for not properly warning parents that this could be a possible risk of going. So, keeping that in mind, just making sure that you take the extra time to warn parents of any things that could come up in a field trip, so that they can be well informed. One that we did, we just went to a rock quarry at the end of the year. It's a working rock quarry. We actually drove down to the bottom of the rock quarry. And looking back on that, we probably should have written a special field trip permission form for that kind of sent out the specifics of what we were planning on doing and any dangers that could possibly happen, and any safety things that we would do to kind of try to prevent any dangers from occurring. Thank you.